Can you hear me?
I can't hear you well.
Our guest from Gaza, Layan, I think she's having a bit of an internet problem. But Layan, if you can hear us, first of all, I'm glad you're okay. I know you've had a very difficult night. And my other guest is Hiba. Welcome, Hiba.
Hello.
Hiba is based in Haifa. And we've got Layan back, I think, hopefully. As everybody here might know by now, Israel has been bombarding the Gaza Strip for days. The death toll keeps rising. Now it stands at 158 dead, including 43 children at least. And in Haifa, the situation is very difficult, and obviously also in Jerusalem, we know that this is where it all started. My guest from Jerusalem is unable to join us right now, it seems, but if he can, then we can speak to him later on down the line. But for now, we will be talking to Layan from Gaza and Hiba from Haifa about what's been happening in Palestine recently. Hiba, can you maybe tell our viewers and describe the situation in Haifa now? What's been happening?
Yeah, sure. We as Palestinian Arabs in Haifa, we are being attacked. We are being threatened, not by the army or the police, but also from the people themselves. They are screaming death to Arabs. They are marking our houses so they can attack us. They are doing exactly what the Nazis did to them in the Kristallnacht in 1938. Yeah, so they're basically trying to clear Haifa city and make it Arab free, because the sentence that they're saying right now is a good Arab is a dead Arab. Doesn't matter the religion, doesn't matter what's your political view, doesn't matter anything. As long as you're Arab, the good Arab is a dead Arab. So that's basically what's happening.
Just to clarify to our viewers, obviously you're of Palestinian origin, but you carry an Israeli nationality. So some Palestinians who live within the Green Line, so in Haifa and other cities in Israel, carry Israeli citizenship. So these attacks are carried out by fellow citizens, shall we say.
Yeah. And when they attacked us, the police was with them. So we don't have no place to go to hide from the situation. There's no one to protect us because the police and the country itself is with them.
So they are giving cover and protection to whoever is attacking you.
They are giving them permission. Yeah, they are giving them permission for everything they are doing. They are giving them permission to attack us. They are giving permission to scream death to Arabs in the middle of the street. Yeah. They are doing that because they have permission, because they are not afraid to do that.
And how do you feel like what's happening in Haifa and other cities within the Green Line at the moment? I mean, we've seen videos of this kind of escalation. I know that Palestinians within the Green Line have come out to protest in solidarity with the Palestinians who were under threat of, forcible removal and expulsion from their homes in Sheikh Jarrah in occupied East Jerusalem. So how do you feel this relates and connects to what's happening, whether in Jerusalem, that's been happening for a while now, or in Gaza, the bombing campaign in Gaza? How do you feel like what's happening to you guys, as Palestinian citizens of Israel, or Arab Israelis, as, also the media refers to you? How do you feel it all connects?
I think that in these days, the real and clear face of the occupation is being shown, because there is no difference whether you are a Palestinian who has the Israeli passport or you're a Palestinian who lives in Jerusalem, West Bank, Gaza. We are all Palestinians. We have the same occupation. We have the same story. So now they are showing the real face of the occupation, where they are attacking the Palestinians, no matter where they are. And for the first time, we as Palestinians also, we are speaking in the same language together. We are saying, we as Palestinians in general, doesn't matter where you are being attacked. Even if you're a refugee outside of Palestine, it doesn't matter where, in France, they are attacking you. Even if you're just writing on Instagram, they are attacking you. We are being attacked from everywhere. We are all connected because we all have the same occupation. We have the same story. We are living basically the same thing. And we've been, like, they have told us for years that we are not living the same. We've been told for years that here in Israel we're living fine, and they are giving us a right to vote, to eat, to live. But that's the basic human rights that Israel have to give it to the Palestinians if they live in the Green Line or in Gaza or in Jerusalem. That's not something that we should thank them. That's our basic human rights. So yeah, now it's showing that we are all Palestinians. We are all in the same story. There's no difference. I, the person who live in Haifa city, where my neighbors are Jewish, Russians, doesn't matter what, I have the Israeli passport, I'm being attacked. Maybe not bombed like Gaza, but I'm being attacked. Everyone is being attacked. There's no difference.
Leanne, are you able to hear us now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's good. First of all, I'm really glad that you are safe and sound this morning. Can you tell me about your night, or tell our viewers, because I spoke to you briefly last night, and you had your girls in your lap and they were shaking. So maybe describe to our viewers what was happening last night. Obviously, you've had a few days of heavy bombardment that you may want to talk about what you're going through.
Yesterday night they were talking about ceasefire. So we here in Gaza we were like trying to catch our breath, and then like after 1 a.m. everything has went literally crazy. They have got insane bombing, targeting everything that they can see.
Leanne, I think we've lost Leanne again. But back to you, Hiba. Can you tell me what you feel the future holds for the Palestinian as a whole, the Palestinian people as a whole? So for you as a Palestinian who lives within the Green Line and under the direct, rule of the Israeli government, but also as a Palestinian people altogether.
I just want to say something, that we are being attacked also in our houses, not just on the street. Personally, they attacked me and my family while we are sitting on our balcony. They throw rocks at us while we're sitting at our houses. So it's not just the street. Our houses also are not safe. We're being attacked in our houses. And what the future holds.
And what do you do in this kind of situation if you can't go to the police because the police are giving them cover?
The police was
what are you
with
doing?
them in the street. The police was with them in the street.
So what do you do in this kind of situation? What do you do?
We actually have nothing to do. We just try to be safe, and we try to take videos as much as possible to show to the world. Maybe, I don't know, something could happen. But we have no one to go to. No one. The police and the army was with them. When we do our protest in Haifa city, they throw bombs at us, the sound bombs. They have the horses. The horses run after us. They throw tear gas at us, even if just like a peaceful protesting in Haifa street. But when they went around in the street attacking us, marking our houses with the police and with the army, they didn't do anything. They didn't even say to them no, don't throw tear gas at them. Just say no for the protocol. They didn't do anything. So we literally have no one to go to. And What the future holds, it's a very difficult question. We have no idea because now the police have been for 3 days going around Haifa arresting people from their houses. So we literally have no idea what the future holds for us. Scary.
What are they they're arresting them on the grounds of what if they are being attacked?
You were in the protest. You said something about the country. You are not safe. We just want to ask some questions. They don't have like a reasonable reason to come and take us, but they can. That's the problem. No one can say no to them.
Yeah,
they can, even if they don't have a reason. And that's what they did with multiple people in Haifa city. They arrested them for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because they're Palestinians, just because they are.
Yeah. And in general, do you feel like, because obviously we hear a lot, especially now, the statements of world leaders and governments, they talk about Israel's right to self-defense, and that the issue with the Palestinians, especially Gaza, is that, you know, if Hamas stops throwing rockets, then Palestinians would be safe. How do you feel about that kind of rhetoric and that narrative? Do you feel like that's the main problem, that's the main obstacle? If Hamas, you know, disappears, Palestinians, you know, problem solved, Palestinians will be all right?
No, as long as there is occupation, doesn't matter what leader we have as Palestinians, we're not safe and we're in the problem. We have no Hamas, we have no rockets, we have only ourselves.
And you're still being targeted.
It's not Hamas the problem. It's that you're a Palestinian, no matter who your leader is the problem.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get Layan to join one last time, but I think if the internet is still getting disconnected. Hi, Layan.
Hello again.
Hi. Yeah, I realize the internet must be really terrible for you, and I completely understand that. You were talking about what you were going through last night.
Yes, as I was saying, last night was a nightmare. After 1 a.m., the Israeli warcrafts were hovering heavily in the Gaza sky. Then at one moment, they were raiding like more 100 raids all over Gaza, from border to border. Every single house was a target. Every civilian was a target. We have been hearing sounds of bombing. We could not know the place or the direction the bombing was coming from, because literally it was coming from all directions. I have two daughters. They were shivering, they were shaking, they were sweating. They were wondering if they were going to die last night. They were asking me if dying does hurt, and they were asking me if this is going to stop. I had no answers. I did not know if we were going to survive the last night. There were more like 100 raids coming from everywhere. We thought that our houses are safe, and that the only thing that can make us safe is our rooftops. Actually, we have no shelters, we have no sirens. In Gaza, we have no any mean of protection. But what happened is that last night they were randomly bombing houses with civilians inside. Whole families were buried under rubble yesterday. And from 1 a.m. last night till now, people are still buried under the rubble. Medics are trying to take them out. Some were found dead, some were found alive, and some were their bodies were shattered into pieces. Like medics in the hospitals, they broke down after the scenes after the horrors they have seen from last night. There were bodies of children and women and men reaching the hospital shattered into pieces. And to make it even worse, what did they do? They have bombed all main roads leading to the main hospital in Gaza, the Shifa hospital. It is the main health compound in Gaza. They bombed all roads leading to this hospital, so ambulances could not reach the hospital or leave the hospital. Medics could not leave the hospital. It took a couple of hours till they could fix somehow the roads so the ambulances could get in and out. Until now, the medics are reporting screams coming from down the rubbles. That was not enough. Last night they were also bombing all main streets in Gaza. So even if this all ends, and when it all ends, and it is going to end at some point, if when we are going to leave our houses, we are going to find a deformed version of Gaza, a deformed version of my city. I'm not going to recognize the streets I've been walking on every day, the buildings, everything out there is a mess. Everything there is destroyed, destruction, the rubbles, the smoke, the sky is filled with the smoke, black smoke coming all from dawn. It keeps coming out from dawn to sunset. The situation here, how long or how more I describe it, or how more I try to paint a picture for you. It's literally this is no way to live. This is no way to raise our children. We're not no one here is safe, and they keep targeting Hamas members. They're not. I can see that with my own eyes. They are not. They're targeting civilians, children, infants. They're targeting babies inside the wombs of their mothers. So no one here is safe. And for the excuses they're giving, or they try to give, that we are self-protecting ourselves. What kind of self-protect? What they're going into massacres right now. I can hear some bombing. My daughter is shivering right now. So there is no self-defense. What they're doing here is a genocide. It's ethnic cleansing. It's anything that it's anything that against humanity. And if there were still human around the world, they must do something. They must stand in solidarity with Palestine and with Gaza. They're trying. We have been waiting for the international community to take action for 73 years. We have been waiting for the free voices around the world to change something. But for 73 years, not one Palestinian refugee have been restored. Not one person have returned to their homeland. For 73 years. Not a single inch of land was restored or reclaimed. On the other hand, they are still going of illegal settlements are still built all over Palestinian lands in the West Bank and Jerusalem. Palestinians, unarmed civilians in the West Bank and Jerusalem are being targeted and shot every day with cold blood. People at Sheikh Jarrah and many other places are being kicked out of their houses. They've been so settlers can stay in, and we're seeing that on the social media. It has been there was been live broadcasts for that. And if anyone is going to say this is an Israeli land, the documents, the identifications say otherwise. The monuments inside this ground, the bones that were found in inside this ground, it all says that this is Palestine, this Palestinian land. The monuments there said this is a Palestinian history that was in there. So no matter how they lie about this, the ownership of the land is ours, and how horrors they are going to make us see or live. No, we are going to still here. We're not going to leave our land. We're not going to give up. Someday, one day, this is all going to change. We're going to have our land back. They are going to be out of here. So I don't think that there is any worse that we can see from what we have seen last night. So far I have gone through 3 wars. This is the 4th. My 9 years old daughter Sama, she's 9 years old. She has been through 3 wars. This is the 4th. So I don't think that there is any more. I don't think that there is any more that we can, or there is more horrors that we can see than the ones we have seen. And despite all of that, I'm saying, and everyone here in Gaza saying, we're not leaving. The land is ours. We're not going to give up.
And I've noticed, I've experienced myself cast lead in 2008, but I've not experienced the following wars. But what I've noticed is that the bombing, and especially of homes, intensifies throughout the night. how do you feel about it? Because it feels like during the day, obviously the bombing does continue, but it's a lot more sporadic. But it feels like throughout the night is when the more intense sort of bombing happens, and people wake up in the morning to look for, who's dead and who's alive. Entire families that we know have been buried, under the rubble overnight, and especially last night in Al-Wahda. I know that the last I checked this morning, they found 26 people dead and others are still missing under the rubble. So how do you feel about this bombing that happens during the night?
Well, during the day, the day is like this one can always make things seem better when there is a light. But during the day, they keep just targeting, as you said, the biggest residential buildings in Gaza, and sometimes they give them an evacuation notice, and sometimes they don't. This aggression has started with this chain of targeting civilian residential buildings as an aim to displace Palestinians or Gazans, because these buildings they house tons of families. These families now are in the streets, and for a Gazan to afford one house and lose it, they cannot afford another. It is so hard for Palestinians in Gaza to afford another house if they lost one. They spend their lifetime building and working to get a home for their family or for their children, and they just lose it in a blink of an eye. But as you said, yes, at night, because there is usually a cut of electricity, there is no enough power, because the Israeli side does not allow fuel to enter Gaza to light like the to light electricity in Gaza. So at night there is usually a cut of an electricity, so it is quiet, very quiet, and the sound of bombing like doubles, and it goes more intense, and there is not only the airstrikes that we can hear also the naval forces firing at the shores of Gaza, and there is also the artillery on borders being fired. So we can hear artillery, naval forces, airstrikes, and as a matter of fact, after a while you become like an expert in the sounds. You can differentiate between the sounds coming. This is no, this is the naval forces. No, this is a warship. No, this is an airstrike. You can differentiate the sounds of bombing after a while. And what happened yesterday at Al-Wahda Street? Al-Wahda Street is a main street in the middle of Gaza City, and it's it connects many main areas together in Gaza. So what happened yesterday? People they're safe in their houses. They were inside their houses. They thought that they're safe, and then at one moment the whole house collapsed over its residents, whole families, grandmothers, grandfathers, children, infants. As I said, no difference. And medics could not get. Medics are still till the moment trying to recover the bodies, or find rescue alive people. 27 so far have been 27 bodies were found, and the number is still summing up at from every moment. Nights are the heaviest in Gaza. Yes, when the night falls, I start to feel pain in my legs. I feel pain in my stomach. My two daughters, we all sleep in one bed now, in a room which we think is the safest in the house. We took a mattress, we put it there, and we all sleep on together, holding to each other. So like if we're gonna die, we'll die together. We're not gonna lose one, and the others we're gonna mourn for the other part. So we sleep all together there. We try to think that we're safe. My two daughters, they cover their head with a blanket and they keep shivering there. They think that their teddy bear and the blanket that is going to save them. And when it's night, they start to asking me the questions: Are we going to die tonight? How is it going to be tonight? Are we? Is it heavier than yesterday? Is it going to stop this night? And as usual, I keep promising them, no, tonight is going to be fine. Tonight is going to be quiet, and we're gonna be okay. And it turns out that all my promises go fake because I can't stop and I can't control what is going out there. It keeps the sounds of bombing keep knocking our house, and they keep crying all night, and actually it's like it has become a habit. When they sleep with their fingers pressing on their ears so they can't hear things, but it doesn't. They can hear everything, and that's the situation.
What do you think the future holds for Palestinians, for you in Gaza, but also for Palestinians as a people?
Okay, before the previous wars, what's different this one from the others, that before the aggression, when the aggression was assaulted on Gaza, there was no like there was the power of social media was not at its best, just like now. So what's happening now, the aggression over Gaza, we have the social media to record it all and to say it all to the other world. So in this time, I felt that the West, especially the West, their eyes are started to open. They're blind. The blinded media stream. They're trying to search for the truth. People, they're trying to find out what's really going on in Palestine, and they're standing more in solidarity with Gaza and Palestine as a whole. So now my hopes for the future are actually bright. If we could survive this, and if I could survive 3 wars before, we could do more in the future. Our voice is going to reach somehow, in some point. People, the free voices around the world, are going to push on the international community to take an action to free Palestine, and to give our rights back. Uh, we as Palestinians, for the first time, I felt that our souls are united, our calls are united from inside the lands of 48 in Gaza and in the West Bank in Jerusalem. All our calls were one. We were calling and screaming for free Palestine. We stood all together in the face of the aggression, in the face of the oppressor. So my hopes for the future are bright. One day, someday, this is all going to change, and as long as we teach our children that Palestine is ours, that Jerusalem is our capital, this is not going to be, and what's happening here is not going to be okay. Someday they are going to be held accountable, but the world has to see it all, and our role here is to share, to post, to reveal, to expose what's happening, not to stay quiet. Every one of us has a role to do, which is to expose their crimes, to tell the world about what's happening in here. If we were quiet, no one, or if we remain quiet, no one is going to learn about it. We need to do something by telling the world about all the horrors that have been committed here, and the Israeli crimes against the humanity, and against the international law. There is going to be something. There is going to be a solution. There is going to be a beautiful end for this story. I'm sure about that.
I think I speak in the tongue of most of the Palestinians when I say that when we hear that our family in Gaza say that they have a bright seeing for the future, they think that it's going to be better. We take power from them. We take strength from them. So thank you so much. We needed that. Everyone in Palestine need to take their power from the people in Gaza, from our family in Gaza, because we as Palestinians also, we always feel that we should do something for the people in Gaza, even though that we are also Palestinians and we are also under occupation, but we always fear that we're doing less of what we should do for our families in Gaza. So when we see that they have hope, when we see that they can see a bright future, that's the most thing that give us power to continue. So really, thank you. And if you see a bright future, all Palestine is with you. We all see a bright future together as a unit.
And just for you to know that when we saw you on TV demonstrating in the streets and doing something about Gaza, and when we feel that unity in our souls, that gave us also power. We felt one. So we could take more. We could take that. They thought that they were going to break us, but when we saw this whole unity in Palestinian souls, no, we also took our power from you. So this is a common thing between us. Thank you.
Thank you both for joining the live broadcast. I'm sure it's a difficult time for both of you, and I hope that you will remain safe. And to our viewers, also thank you for tuning in, and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.